So Parker, what am I doing here? What am I doing here?
Okay, we embarked on a journey months ago. We started into the choice of games, and I said I was going to show you my favorite three. We started with my favorite one, which was Choice of Robots. How did that one go?
I was depressed, in and out of the game.
Yep, that's true. You ended the game pretty well, aside from somebody that
I was depressed,
Yeah, that's fine.
but at least I had a happy ending. I mean, that's
You got a happy marriage, and Famulus was a wild success, and you saved your own life.
and a clone of myself went on to do my the rest of my passion.
Absolutely.
It just forget about China kind of took over, but Canada was fine.
Canada was fine. Hey, investing in the Canadian dollar, ace move. And you might have invented another robot, but that doesn't matter. That's fine. So then we did Choice of Magics. How was that one?
I think it ended well at the very end until I got smited by God.
Yeah, you followed a ghost, and then it struck you with lightning, and then you died. I remember that.
Because
I remember
didn't
it
want to
ended
mind
very
control
abruptly. It ended very abruptly.
But
I
at least in that
remember.
one too, saved the world, had a family. I just then became like Jesus, except then backed out of it at the last second.
Did you have a family?
I did. I married my.
Yeah, you married Tal. That's right.
Yeah, and had a kid.
That's right. I remember this.
I think I also kept my robot friend the entire time. That was cool.
Yeah, Jeff.
Loved him.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, then you got struck by lightning again. We tried to go back in time and reverse it, but it just got really bad. This one is Diabolical. I've definitely given you the train down in terms of complexity and quality. Because Robots was definitely the longest and the most well written. Magix was in the middle. This one's definitely the shortest, and it's more entertaining than it is well written, is the vibe that I'll prepare you for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the premise of Diabolical is this is a world of superheroes and supervillains, right? Classic Marvel and DC stuff. And today, you're going to play a comic book villain.
So I'm letting you know now, I am going to be like Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I'm not actually going to be evil, but I'm gonna, do kind of evil stuff, like classic Batman's evil.
Do you have an idea for a name already?
Not yet, but I'll think about it.
You'll have probably a half a chapter to figure it out, so. All right. Are we ready?
Sure.
You shall. Oh, this is, by the way, this is by Nick Aries, which is, I believe, different. The other two were written by the same person, I think. This is not him. I think this is a different person. The opulent, massive stained glass window overlooking the majestic lobby of Merit City First Financial Bank has a long and storied history, full of romance, dust, and a great deal of banking. But most stained glass enthusiasts agree that while many honorable and worthwhile adjectives could be applied to that noble old warhorse, austere, beautiful, large, red, and many others, exciting would not be one of them. At least, not until 2:37 p.m. Thursday afternoon, when the window exploded, showering the crowds below with rubble and broken glass.
How many people died?
The window did this with its normal dedication to a job well and thoroughly done, aided in its performance by the high-intensity, directed plasma charges that had, until only moments before, been lining its frame. The force of their detonation transformed the handiwork of the artisan, Joseph Branson, 1881 to 1937, from a stately statement on the majesty of wealth into a vibrant rainbow of tiny, very sharp fragments of glass. From the right perspective, that is, not cowering on the floor of a bank, deafened by a massive explosion, or watching from the outside, detonator in hand and earplugs in ear, the shards looked quite pretty as they rained down through the afternoon sunlight onto the heads of the hapless customers.
So they died.
And what of that detonator clutching hand? What dastardly villain would so forcibly desecrate one of Merit City's greatest artistic treasures? Who would startle so many Merit City's stalwart birds nesting on the nearby roofs? Who would be vile enough to so terrify so many law-abiding, checkbook-having citizens? Oh, right. You. It was you.
All right.
Are you prepared for the journey we're on this time?
Maybe. Who knows? We'll find out.
The bank's youngest, fittest security guard struggles to her feet as her co-workers continue to lie, stunned on the bank's cold marble floor. Smoke and sunlight pour upon them through the hole where the bank's window used to be. Your shadow falls across the guard, and her eyes widen. Little wonder, since she sees.
Either a high-tech daredevil, a ruthless military attack, or a terrifying apparition. I'm definitely the high-tech daredevil kind of guy. Gadgets and all.
So far, we're being robbed by Ultron. Clad in high-tech armor, you fly into the bank at high speed on a pair of flame-belching rocket boots, flanked by shiny black robot drones.
Awesome.
As the guard watches, seemingly paralyzed, you hold up a small device you prepared earlier. A pulse of blue light radiates from it, and the guards drop, falling into dreamless unconsciousness.
By the way, I thought I'd just do this because like we're at the start, and it's kind of neat just to look at these things and wonder what the fuck it's gonna mean.
What's it gonna be? Go for it.
My character, sources of notoriety. So there's ingenuity, which I already have a little bit of, probably from choosing high tech. Combat, terror, activism versus selfishness, theatricality versus pragmatism. I mean, I have to go for theatricality, right?
You just gotta go. I feel like if you chose the apparition one, that would be far more theatrical instead of ingenuity.
Maybe, but I'm trying to go with the like obviously like I said, Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I'm gonna have to like make. Or like Dr. Eggman. I gotta just make like a carnival that I'm gonna strap the heroes to, and they're waiting for a roller coaster to finish its whole loop while their damsel in distress is sitting on it as it barrels towards like explosives, and there's a timer. Obviously, if I just wanted to kill her, I'd have shot her. But it's the message that matters. Right?
You're already in the mindset for this. And the only other two stats you have in this are lethality and planning.
Yeah.
And those, I think, act more like currencies.
I have to do planning over lethality.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
I
read that. This is going remarkably well.
You think as the last of the bank's guards falls before your powerful assault. Obviously, you had been expecting success. Today's attack on the bank was a culmination of months of meticulous planning. Alarm companies broken into, weapons manufacturers raided, costume shops plundered. You had left no detail untouched by your nefarious intellect, and yet, if you're being honest, you're expecting at least a little more of a challenge. You take a moment to adjust the camera attached to your costume's lapel, the green light on the tiny device's chassis indicating that your exploits are being successfully uploaded to Darkspace, the internet's #1 database for malignant misdeeds, vile victories, and general blow-stuff-up supervillainy.
After all,
you think.
What's the point of robbing a stupid bank if nobody important hears about it? Come on, guys.
So you are a villainous YouTuber.
I am.
In fact, it's probably time to do something to make an impression on the wider supervillain community. Considering that more and more rookies have been getting into the game in the last few years, inspired by the likes of the murderous Dr. Arachnus or the twisted and mysterious Nautilus, you're going to have to do something if you want to stand out.
Well,
what to choose?
I mean, I'm not gonna kill the guards. What am I, a monster? No. Look. Standards, everyone. So either I have to show off my power or give an evil laugh. I mean, I'm kind of down for showing off my power. I'm just worried that what this game considers that. I assume, since the first option is killing the guards, showing off my power is probably not going to kill any guards.
I would assume that since one option is kill somebody, the other ones do not kill somebody.
Yeah, I'll show off my powers. I'll, show myself off a little bit.
Activating one of your handcrafted force gloves, you reach forward to the nearest of the bank's many terrified patrons. Despite being 10 feet away, the heavy-set man jerks into the air as though something were grabbing his neck. His legs flail helplessly as you curl your fingers, pulling him towards you. You're gratified to see the awe on the faces of the other bank customers as your victim floats through the air. It's always nice when untested prototypes work on the first go. The man's face turns red as he hovers in front of you, but you think you've made your point. It's all you can do not to tell him that his lack of faith disturbs you as you drop him, gasping, back to the floor.
Alright, 6th Darth Vader reference.
I love the idea that you were like, man, never tested this. Let's see if it works.
Thank God I could have, instantly snapped his neck. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And no, even better. Imagine you're going to the bank one day, right? Everything explodes. Someone's robbing the place. You get on the ground. You're like, oh my God. And then he floats in his Iron Man suit. And then he holds up a hand, and then his hand just explodes.
just fucking explodes off his fan. He goes,
And he starts
Fuck!
screaming. You quickly identify the bank manager, hiding behind his desk in the bank's back office. He offers little resistance as you drag him toward the bank's massive vault. Even if he doesn't open it for you, you want him to watch. After all, it's his job to manage the bank's money, which you're about to take. You pull out a rubber stamper you had made for a situation just like this. Conveniently, he has a stamp pad on his desk. You press your stamper into the ink, then stamp the manager's forehead with the red word, fail. He's actually crying a little, and there's a slimy fluid dripping out of his nose. You try not to get any on your costume. Now, how to get the vault open?
I mean, I gotta either I just blow up. I think I gotta tech my way in to show them that there's no one safe from me.
You're going like full on tech genius. You're very Doc Ock so far, honestly.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
As the manager whimpers quietly, you attach a small round device to the vault's massive Voltanium door.
Fucking.
Invented by the enigmatic science hero Professor Infinite before his death at the hands of the deadly crustaceous boxer Cassius Claw. See Professor Infinite number 324. Float like a lobster, kill like a crab.
Oh
True
my God.
believers. Voltanium is supposed to be completely impervious to attack, which is why it's pretty awesome that your new molecular disruptor actually works on the stuff, vibrating its molecules out of phase with each other and blowing the vault door apart in seconds.
See? Fantastic. Prove the point. I'm better than everyone else.
This is also immediately like 1,000% less serious than the other two games we've done.
I mean, I probably could have made it serious if I shot a guard, but you know.
That would have made it pretty grim. You honestly didn't think banks still kept their cash in big giant piles like this. Don't they store them as bearer bonds or something? You remind yourself that you should probably do some more research on banks if you plan on robbing more of them in the future. If you weren't already staggeringly rich, this would be a life-changing amount of money. As is, there's still more than $1 million here, all piled up on the ground. Man, you can tell what year this was written. You still think that seems really stupid.
I mean, it's a decent amount of money. I think it's fine.
You order a few of your large drones to collect the loot, and then you use your tractor beams to carry the money out of the vault. Before you leave, you pause to leave your calling card, the trademark you picked to symbolize yourself as a villain.
So there's a confetti cannon, a single feather, a riddle, a card with my initial on it, nothing. I'm not gonna leave nothing. Come on! That's stupid! But, I gotta start, cutting some of these out. So first off, I don't really want to do confetti cannon. It's very weird. Even for El Comical, I'm gonna try and make this. That's a little bit weird. A riddle. I just beat a Riddler.
You would be the Riddler.
I'm kind of down for a card with my initial on it.
You
know, just be like a. Obviously not my actual, whatever my supervillain name would be. Let's go with that. I'm kind of also debating between a single feather, but I really don't have a thought at this point, and I feel like a feather doesn't fit.
You're not very bird-themed so far, honestly.
That's why I'm not trying to go with it. I'll just go with a card with my initial.
Alongside all the weapons and gear you brought with you is a small card. You pull it out and set it on a desk in the bank lobby. The card is unadorned save for a single letter, your initial. Maybe it's pompous, but people will know who to credit for this crime. You make sure it's in a prominent location, then head for the exit. Can I say that I love the idea that this thing puts forward that you have to have supervillain branding, otherwise no one knows that you're good?
I mean, come on, I gotta let them know. What's the point of being a supervillain if no one knows that you're a supervillain?
You're almost to the lobby door, out into the street where your escape vehicle awaits, when a voice shaking slightly calls out behind you. Stop, thief! You turn, amused, as much as startled, to see a single bank guard on her feet, weapon pointed toward you. You recognize her as the one who witnessed her dramatic entrance. Clearly in better shape than her coworkers, the young woman has long auburn hair, bright green eyes, and slightly humiliating name tag that declares her to be Jenny. Despite her obvious fear, her gun doesn't waver as it aims directly at your chest. This is a tense, dangerous situation. Now, in all likelihood, your armor will be able to deflect the bullet's path, but it'll still hurt like hell if she shoots you, and it might gum up your getaway plans. You're left with a few choices.
Well, I'm not, like I said before, not gonna kill her. Let's have some standards here. No. I'm tempted to just knock her out. I could offer a job, but I don't see why she would. And I kind of want, this is my entrance. I gotta send a message. It'd be weird if I just hired someone day one.
If you offered her a job, that would just be join me, and you would just be Darth Vader at this point.
Join me, and together we can rule whatever the fuck city this was. I already forgot.
Merit City, I think.
Merit City. No, I'm gonna knock her out.
All right. You're a thief, not a murderer.
Exactly.
It takes less than a second for your hand to reach the controls for the neural suppressor you used when you first stormed into the bank. As the guard falls to the ground, you make a note to adjust the damn thing so people can't wake up and get the drop on you in the future.
Exactly.
You're walking out of the bank into the pleasant April sun, flushed with the feeling of a robbery well done, when something explodes behind your eyes. It doesn't even hurt exactly, but it is amazingly unpleasant. Like your entire head is under an incredible pressure. Suddenly looming over you is a man you have seen many times before on the nightly news, usually accompanied by the words tragedy, massacre, and body count.
Oh, this guy's a real asshole. I can't be with him.
His head is entirely bald, with a long, hawkish nose and cruel, beady eyes. The upper half of his body is clad in a strange mixture of lab coat and military uniform, with wide, flaring shoulders. The lower half is a mechanical monstrosity, a spider-like abomination crafted from metal and wire. The man towers above you, his face holding the same expression of murderous contempt that it held in the most famous photograph of your generation. The photograph of this man, standing in the Oval Office, murdering a seated American president. A selfish act of evil, the first step in an unknown plot. A personal grudge. No one knows why he did it, and no one is going to ask. This is Dr. Arachnus.
I just imagine the vulture mixed with just a robo spider.
Yeah. Strangely, no one else seems to have noticed the world's most dangerous supervillain appearing in a city street. Though there are sirens in the distance responding no doubt to your attack on the bank, none of the passerby on the street react at all to the madman's first appearance in almost half a decade. One even walks directly through the 10-foot-tall monster, casting a worried glance at you as she does. Suddenly, a grating nasal voice rings in your eardrums. Greetings and welcome, fledgling, to the supervillain community. I am Dr. Arachnus, and I have hijacked your optical and auditory nerves. Know that, if I so desired, I could crush you where you stand. I could fill your brain with images of madness and death that would leave you forever an imbecile. Know that I do not, because it amuses me to let flies like you survive. You flit, and you bite, and you distract the pathetic authorities and heroes of this world from my important work. With one of the world's most powerful supervillains suddenly in your head, you can't help your immediate reaction.
I mean, I'm not a coward, alright? I'm not gonna go, please don't kill me, or some terrified silence. Either I say get out of my head, or watch out, one day I'll be strong enough to do this to you. And I'm honestly, at this point, maybe I get a Magneto helmet. That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the first one. Obviously, they wouldn't kill me in the first chapter. That'd be ridiculous, right?
Man, it's a quick restart. Despite the danger, you can't resist. This is the sort of villain you want to become. Deadly, terrifying, and capable of anything. You don't know how it's possible to get into someone's brain like this, but it would definitely come in handy. Some say Dr. Arachnus has clairvoyance. Maybe this is related. Dr. Arachnus just keeps talking. This isn't a conversation, you realize. He doesn't consider you worthy of that. So, welcome, Ant. Enjoy your little games, your dark space, your pretensions of money and power. I take from you a token sum, and 2/3 of your stolen loot suddenly vanishes, teleported away by the Mad Doctor.
Oh, what the fuck?
Not because I need it, but to remind you that I can, and to remind you, insect, that there is only one law to supervillainy in this world. Power is respect, and Arachnus is power. Cackling with a high, terrifying laugh, the image of the mass murderer disappears. You are left kneeling on a city sidewalk with what is left of your haul close at hand. The sirens are getting closer. You don't have a lot of time. It's time for the final phase of this operation.
Okay. Now, this is the big part. Either I escape with the loot, I burn the money in the streets, or I throw the money to the people. Now, I'm a villain. Look, I'm not here to be Robin Hood, okay? I'm sorry. This is for me. It already said that, I already have a lot of money, but knowing these past games, it's always good to have a little more money, so I might just escape with the loot. Maybe it seems a bit bland, but I don't want to go with the other two.
Is burning the money in the street just the total anarchy?
It is very
choice.
anarchy, but I want the money.
All right. Loot successfully grabbed. You run for your escape vehicle and jam on the accelerator moments before the Merit City PD converges on the scene. It's not like you really need the money, but then neither does the bank, as far as you're concerned. You guide your escape vehicle back to your secret supervillain lair. You spent a lot of time debating where you wanted to set up your base of operations, but you're pretty happy that you finally chose.
So either it's a nondescript office building, lame, let me tell you, lame. A secluded mansion on the outskirts of the city, pretty cool. Or a volcano lair, Dr. Evil from Austin Powers, anyone? Let's go with that. I'd like $1 million.
Well, a third of your $1 million was teleported away, so it's more like
Yes,
you got
but
$666,000.
Well, first off, he took 2/3 of it. Second off,
Oh.
the bank still had to give me $1 million.
Yeah, the bank did lose $1 million.
It's just I didn't get $1 million.
It's expensive, it's hard to get to, the lava is difficult to restock, and your computers keep catching on fire. But the fact is, you live in a volcano, and that's awesome.
Exactly.
Back in the lair, you change out of your costume after first removing the dark space camera and locking it in its case, of course, and hang it with the others. You turn the news on, listening for any discussion of your day's capers as you log on to dark space to see what people are saying.
Knowing me, it's gonna be like, I'm not even on the back.
You're not even on the left. You're like behind the obituaries. Hi there, folks. I'm Biff Crenshaw, and I'm Mindy Matrigus, and we're the formerly married news team.
Oh.
Reporting for Merit 6 News.
Okay.
They already know about that, Mindy, but thanks for repeating it. Shut up, Biff. You can't tell me what to do.
I'm imagining them saying both of this with just a big smile, like a fake smile.
We've got great stories for you tonight, folks. A bus crash on the highway, a puppy crash in the pet shop, a whole rain of kittens coming on the weekend. But before that, our top story. Mindy? Thanks, Biff, you philandering piece of trash. Our top story is a daring daylight robbery of Merit First Financial Bank, perpetrated by a new villain who has arisen to bedevil Merit City. Police report that a card was left for the crime scene, which may help narrow down the possibilities. The screen shows a grainy security camera picture of you making your big explosive entrance. You feel a stupid little thrill and think,
hey, I'm on TV! Of course, it's classic security cameras that have no resolution.
No, none whatsoever. Here's my interview with what's up.
No, I thought that was me who was speaking.
Here's my interview with the security guard Jenny Tragerson from earlier today. The young guard, still traumatized, appears on the screen, a voice questioning her from off screen. Miss Tragerson, this is Mindy Matrigus, Merit 6 News. How would you describe the assailant? Better or worse than my ex-husband Biff? Jen is visibly confused. Worse? The screen cuts back to the studio. There you have it, Biff. Even worse than you. What a dastardly villain. Thanks for that, Mindy. You sure are a firecracker. By which I mean loud and annoying and dangerous, and you should be illegal. The thief, name unknown, escaped with a sizable amount of money. Government sources are indicating that it could be as long as hours before government funds are available to refund the poor, damaged bank. Speaking of damaged things, wait, what? They did this out of order. Speaking of damaged things, Biff, how's dating going? I hate you, Mindy. You too, Biff. Back after these messages.
Hours. Whole hours.
Whole hours.
Oh, God.
The humanity. You turn your attention to dark space to see what others are saying about the day's caper. Opinion on the job is mixed. The younger villains, like the Flaming Ham, deride you for hokiness. But you pick up some cred with some of the old school villains. You even get a few words of encouragement from the famously taciturn Death Turtle.
I want to know him.
Nobody comments on Dr. Arachnus or the money. In fact, the only comment from any of the upper tier villains, an unofficial distinction but one that carries weight, is a smiley face left as a comment on your video by the enigmatic Nautilus. As usual, no one knows what it means. Minotaur, the international criminal syndicate, has nothing to say on the matter. That's good, because it means your operations didn't get in the way of their plans. You're good, and you know you'll get better, but you're not ready to tangle with the Minotaur. As you log off of Dark Space, you look down at your hand and are unhappily unsurprised to see a bright red A written on the skin in jagged, spidery letters. You know somehow that it's not really there, just a memento left in your neurons by Dr. Arachnus. You have trouble getting to sleep that night, alone in the dark, tormented by the thoughts of Dr. Arachnus. You think back to how it all began, 6 months ago. You weren't a supervillain with a growing reputation on Dark Space. 6 months ago, your greatest problem was boredom. Not a madman beaming messages into your brain. 6 months ago, you made a decision that changed your life.
So I have to, like... My villain story has to be so stupid. Like, not... My whole family died in a fire, and now I rue the person that did it, not, like, some revenge. It's gotta be, like, my pet hamster died, and I couldn't handle it. So I decided to rob a bank.
I think you're gonna be one because you got bored.